Ever wondered what's really happening behind those polished airport walls? It's not just overpriced coffee and slow moving walkways. Airports are packed with secrets, some clever, some genuinely creepy, and a few that'll straight up shock you. Don't worry though, we're pulling back the curtain today. These are 15 airport secrets that airlines would honestly rather you never learned. And stick around, because at the end there's a bonus point you really don't want to miss. Let's get into it. Picture this. You're running late, your phone's about to die, and right there near security, you spot an open seat with a charging port. Feels like a win, right? Not quite. You might have just parked yourself in a monitoring zone. Certain seating areas around airports are positioned very deliberately. Hidden cameras, built-in microphones, quietly gathering data while you're scrolling through your phone. You think you're just charging your battery, but you could be feeding someone's surveillance file instead. So, if you're about to have a meltdown over lost luggage, maybe don't do it right next to the TSA counter. Someone might actually be listening. Ever notice how you naturally slow down once you hit the security line? It's not just your carry-on weighing you down, it's the flooring. Airports use something called cognitive friction on purpose. They'll switch from hard tile to soft carpet specifically because that shift subtly messes with your pace, making you walk slower and calmer without even realizing it. It's not about comfort at all, it's behavioral engineering. Slower, calmer passengers are simply easier to screen and move through checkpoints. So next time you feel yourself shuffling across that plush carpet, know that you're not just walking, you're being guided. You've made it through security, you're overheated, exhausted, and your water bottle's bone dry. Then you spot a water fountain and think, free hydration. Finally. Don't celebrate yet. That fountain could genuinely be dirtier than a gas station restroom. Research has found plenty of airport water fountains go weeks without a real cleaning, meaning mold, bacteria, biofilm, the whole unpleasant lineup. And that button gets pressed by hundreds of strangers daily. So honestly, just buy the overpriced bottled water. Yes, it's a ripoff, but at least it's not actively trying to make you sick. Your immune system will genuinely thank you later. Think you're just blending into the crowd as another random traveler? Think again. Airport staff frequently get advance notice about specific passengers, VIPs, frequent flyers, and yes, people who've caused issues in the past. So, if you once lost your temper at baggage claim, don't be surprised if you get a slightly closer look next time around. Gate agents and flight attendants aren't just there to smile politely, they're actively observing and quietly taking notes. It's nothing personal, it's just protocol. Still, might be smart to save the outburst for after you've landed. You hand off your suitcase, watch it disappear down the belt, and assume it's just heading straight to the plane. Before that happens, though, your bag goes through its own high-tech solo journey. It passes through an explosive detection system with scanning technology powerful enough to make superhero X-ray vision look basic. These machines examine everything, not just what you can see from outside, but what's tucked inside your belongings, too. And it all happens incredibly fast: advanced imaging, chemical detection, shape recognition, the full package, all before your suitcase even reaches the actual conveyor belt. Don't worry, it's not judging your souvenir shopping choices, it's just confirming your socks aren't concealing anything they shouldn't be. You reach your gate, it's completely packed, overhead bins are stuffed, and somehow you're left without an assigned seat. Welcome to overbooking, the airline strategy nobody really likes to discuss openly. Airlines routinely sell more tickets than there are actual seats available. Why? Because historical data shows a percentage of passengers simply won't show up. They've got algorithms and years of pattern tracking backing this decision. But on the rare occasion everyone actually does show up, that's exactly when passengers get bumped, and your once confirmed seat suddenly turns into an awkward apology. It's completely legal, entirely calculated, and ultimately about squeezing maximum revenue out of every single flight. Nobody likes bringing this up, but yes, passengers occasionally do pass away mid-flight. So, what actually happens in that moment? Do they make an announcement? Not at all. Airlines rely on discrete code phrases to keep the cabin calm. Something like Jim Wilson or Operation Sunrise might sound completely ordinary to passengers. But to crew members, it signals something genuinely serious happening. It's all designed to prevent panic and handle the situation quietly and professionally. So, if you ever hear an oddly formal sounding phrase over the intercom, there's a real chance you're witnessing a quiet emergency unfold in real time. You're at the airport, you need cash, and there's an ATM conveniently right by your gate. Seems perfect, right? Not even close. Those airport ATMs are essentially financial traps. They're known for outrageous fees, terrible exchange rates, and fine print sneaky enough to make your bank account weep. In some cases, you could lose upwards of 10% on a single withdrawal alone, and that's even worse with a foreign card. Here's the smarter move. Always withdraw cash before you even arrive at the airport, or just use your credit card once you're inside, because that quick cash grab could end up costing you far more than expected. You get settled into your seat, the tray table looks clean, your seatbelt clicks into place, everything seems fresh, right? Not even remotely. Airplanes are essentially flying petri dishes. Hundreds of passengers from all over the globe breathing, sneezing, and touching every surface. Between flights, most aircraft only get a quick surface wipe down, not a genuine deep clean. That usually happens maybe once a month at best. That tray table you're about to eat off could realistically be dirtier than a public restroom stall. So pack some sanitizing wipes and clean your seatbelt, armrests, and tray before settling in, because what you can't see could definitely stick around. You're starving, your flight's delayed, and the only option nearby is a sad, overpriced sandwich for $14. Welcome to the world of airport markups. Everything from bottled water to magazines to a simple bag of candy is priced like it's practically gold-plated. Even those cheesy souvenir t-shirts somehow cost more than a week's worth of groceries. Why? Because once you're past security, you're essentially trapped with limited options. They know you're tired, hungry, and out of alternatives, and they price accordingly. So next time you're eyeing a $6 granola bar, remember, you're not just paying for a snack, you're paying for the privilege of being stuck there. Pack something beforehand, your wallet will genuinely thank you. Ever wonder what actually happens to luggage that never gets claimed? It doesn't just sit forgotten in some dusty storage room forever. Eventually, those unclaimed suitcases end up at auction. Yes, this genuinely happens. Airport luggage auctions are a real thing. After enough time passes, unclaimed bags get sold to the highest bidder, completely unopened beforehand. Nobody checks the contents first. It's essentially a giant mystery box game. You could end up bidding on designer clothing, worn-out flip-flops, or honestly, who knows what else. So if you ever check a bag, just remember, if it stays lost long enough, it might eventually become someone else's surprise find. You've definitely seen them before, those quiet airport lounges with comfortable seating, complimentary snacks, and a peaceful atmosphere. You probably assumed, must be nice, but that's definitely not for me. Here's the actual secret though. You don't need to be wealthy or hold elite frequent flyer status. Plenty of lounges offer day passes for a relatively small fee, and certain credit cards, even some without annual fees, include complimentary access. You just need to know where to look. Instead of sitting near a loud gate with an overpriced coffee and nowhere to charge your devices, you could be relaxing with a free cappuccino in a comfortable chair. So next time you've got a lengthy layover, check whether your credit card or airline app unlocks lounge access, because honestly, you deserve some peace before boarding. Ever heard, ladies and gentlemen, we've arrived ahead of schedule? Feels like a genuine win, doesn't it? Not exactly. You've just experienced one of the oldest tricks in the airline playbook, padded flight schedules. Airlines frequently build extra minutes, sometimes even hours, into their official flight times. That way, even if the flight actually runs late, it still technically appears on time or early on paper. It's entirely about maintaining strong on-time performance statistics. The numbers look impressive, passengers feel satisfied, and nobody questions it. So next time you're celebrating that early landing, just remember, you probably weren't actually early. They simply built in enough padding that you'd never notice the difference. You're cruising along at 35,000 feet. Everything in the cockpit seems calm and routine. But here's an interesting twist. Your pilot might actually be asleep. And no, that's not a crisis. It's completely standard practice on long-haul flights. Pilots take scheduled turns resting in hidden crew compartments or reclined seating, while the co-pilot or autopilot systems keep everything running smoothly in the meantime. It's tightly regulated and entirely legal. In fact, well-rested pilots genuinely make for safer flights overall. Would you honestly prefer your captain resting now or getting drowsy during an actual landing? So there's no need to panic. If your pilot's napping, that generally just means they're doing their job exactly right. Ever noticed a plane taking off with barely any passengers aboard? That's not your imagination playing tricks on you. That's what's known as a ghost flight. Why would any airline fly an essentially empty plane? It all comes down to airport slot regulations. Airlines are required to actually use their scheduled takeoff and landing time slots, or risk permanently losing them to competing airlines. So, rather than outright canceling a flight, they'll occasionally fly a nearly empty aircraft simply to protect that valuable time slot. It's expensive, inefficient, and honestly a little bizarre. But for the airline, it's worth protecting long term. So if you ever feel like you're practically alone at your gate, you might just be boarding a flight that's technically going nowhere, entirely on purpose. You've just touched down, the seatbelt sign switches off, everyone rushes toward the aisle, and then straight toward the nearest arrival's bathroom. Here's the actual problem though. That particular bathroom is genuinely the busiest, dirtiest, and most chaotic one in the entire terminal. Every passenger from your flight, plus several from ones before yours, are all trying to squeeze in at once. There's a line stretching out the door, paper towels scattered everywhere, and zero peace to be found. Here's the smarter move though, just keep walking. Head a bit further into the terminal instead, and you'll typically find quieter restrooms that are noticeably cleaner, emptier, and actually properly stocked. It's a simple adjustment, but it completely transforms that post-flight chaos into something far more manageable. So skip the initial rush. Your bladder can genuinely hold on 60 more seconds, and your dignity will absolutely thank you for it.